wall in my house. It has been painted over several times. My father has covered it in wallpaper twice. It still suffers water damage. Every time I look at this wall, I think about storytelling. And I think about stories that we never get to talk about. In every Indian household, there are two significant walls. One is the one you live towards, like my grandfather, late grandfather. So all the ancestors are placed on the east-facing wall, and all the photographs are placed in a higher than above eye level to live up to the metaphor that your ancestors are looking down upon you. This is the second wall, which is the achievements wall. There is no room for photographs of vacation or beach holidays in my house. You have to earn to be on this wall. As you can see, in my family of 5, only my father and I have made it. This picture was taken this morning. In my life, I have had a 5-year plan, 10-year plan, 20-year plan to bet on that wall because I want to be just like my father. I want to be just like my father so much that I went to the exact same university, got the same degree, and graduated with the same white guy giving us the degree. When I was 17 years old, I joined a talent competition because my mother made me to. Everybody was dancing and singing because in Malaysia that's what talent competitions are. I went to the girls' bathroom and wrote a poem. That's what an excerpt from the poem was. I won the talent competition and went on 17 magazine. So that was me and a terrible poem 12 years ago. So then I thought, I can't be the only person who likes poetry in this country. So when I was in college, this is about 10 years ago, I wanted to trap all the poets and people who like poetry. So I started an event. I had no event management skills whatsoever. It was called Candles and Coffee. A lot of people came, and then because I'm very ambitious, I sold the entire event to Starbucks. I told them it's a CSR program because freedom of speech. They bought the idea. So they gave me 20 ringgit coffee vouchers for all my poets. Paying poets now, okay? From 10 years ago. So that was my plan. What? But you see, I never wanted to be a poet. I wanted to be Oprah Winfrey. I never actually met her. That's from the Madame Tussauds in Thailand. So, I wanted to be just like her. I wanted to present. I wanted to tell stories. I wanted to talk to people on television. But when I applied, Bernama said I was too brown, and Trax FM said I sound too feminine. So I went and did my masters, and then I wrote about being brown. And I wrote about how in Petronas Deepavali advertisements, there are stereotypes that affect the Indian community and perpetuate until today. And this paper has been published and all that. And then eventually, I wrote a book. And I was so adamant that I told my publisher, I don't care, you must put a brown girl on the cover. He said, cannot, so I got them to paint her. And it worked out anyway. She looks a bit orange, but it all worked out. So this book is called Taboo, and it's about all the things my mother told me not to do. That book took me to Mumbai, to where I did TEDxGateway, which changed my life completely. Because I know a lot of people in this room because of this event. I went on stage in India and I talked about being Indian in Malaysia. It was very weird to them. And then after the live streaming was over, this is my grandmother. She was in the hospital at the time, but she watched the live streaming because she damn change, and she gave me a thumbs up. And I love her very much. My grandmother has Alzheimer's and she doesn't remember a lot of things now, but I always show her pictures to jog her memory. I came back and my friends and I did a lot of poetry in the city. And many years ago, there wasn't exactly one place where you can do poetry. So this is us doing poetry about Alice in Wonderland in Pavilion, like on the street. People thought we were damn crazy. We are. And it was a lot of guerrilla marketing for poetry. But there was no home. There was no place where we didn't have to explain who we are all the time or what is spoken word. This is my favorite quote from Rudy Francisco as a poet. And this quote lives with me for a long time. Home is any place that makes you forget the world is on fire. And so my best friend and I decided to build a home for poets in Gaslight Cafe 3 years ago. And this place is actually very small, but we get a crowd of 200 people, sometimes more, and we have to ask people, sorry lah, please cannot, But people come, I don't know where they come from, I still don't know where they come from, but they come for poetry. We've got people from Singapore and around the world, London and stuff. And this is actually a Singaporean poet. Singaporeans like to come here so that they can do poems about Lee Kuan Yew. And then we also have a child, like we have a lot of kids that come and they write poems on napkins and they give it to me to read out loud. So yeah, that happens a lot. Then after that, we started teaching poetry. Like we started having workshops every month. So we have a show that happens every second Thursday until today, and we have a workshop every second Saturday of the month that teaches poetry and shares different styles in Malay, English, Mandarin, Tamil. Tamil actually don't have because it's very hard to find. But yeah. And then we also run a poetry slam, which is a competition style for poetry. And I don't like slams, so I made it an anti-slam. So instead of a trophy, you get a fake crown on a fedora hat. And then that's how you win the slam. And this year, we're actually hosting the first Malaysian National Poetry Slam. So when you win this slam, then you can go and do the World Cup. You go World Cup or so. So this is what Gaslight and Walls feels like. It's called Walls, for short. And this photo kind of represents the vibe there. Everybody who you are very unlikely friends, but they all come together to do poetry. One will be playing a flute there, one will be doing stuff. And when I look back in my life of the last 27 years, and I think about the walls in my house, I think it's time to have bigger aspirations than just to be etched on that wall, or etched on any wall. So this is what I'm just going to keep trying to do. Thank you.